The hum of the aircraft engines filled the cabin with a dull, steady vibration as passengers settled into their seats. Emma Clark shifted uncomfortably, trying to soothe her daughter Olivia, who squirmed restlessly in her arms. The plush leather seats of Falcon Aviation's exclusive first-class cabin were designed for luxury, but they offered little comfort to a mother wrestling with an overtired toddler and the unspoken judgments of strangers. It had been a long week for Emma, not that anyone on this flight would know. To them, she looked like any other exhausted mother clinging to dignity at 30,000 feet, her designer coat rumpled, her makeup long since faded, her once immaculate shoes scuffed by too many airport security checks. But the truth was far more complex than the surface suggested. Beneath the fatigue and frazzled hair was a woman who had built an empire with her bare hands. A woman who could, with a single signature, buy this aircraft, the airline, and half the companies supplying parts for it. But none of that mattered right now. Right now, she was just another single mom trying to make it home. The disdain was almost palpable. From across the aisle, a woman in crisp navy slacks and a perfectly tailored blouse approached, her posture the very embodiment of upper-middle-class superiority. Samantha Reynolds, senior flight attendant for Falcon Aviation, wore her authority like armor, her platinum hair pulled into a taut bun that didn't allow for warmth or leniency. "Ma'am," she said sharply, "you need to control your child." Emma's brows lifted slightly in surprise. "She's just tired. We're trying." Samantha's eyes narrowed with an almost predatory satisfaction. "Trying isn't good enough. This is a premium experience for our other guests. Perhaps you should have booked coach if you couldn't maintain order." A few passengers tittered quietly, pretending to look at their phones but secretly reveling in the drama unfolding before them. In this curated world of wealth and comfort, a struggling single mother was an intruder, an unwelcome crack in the seamless veneer of privilege. Emma swallowed her frustration. She dealt with worse. Boardrooms filled with smug venture capitalists who underestimated her, journalists who questioned her leadership, distant relatives who expected handouts. All of them had taught her patience, control, precision. But Olivia, sensing the tension, whimpered louder and buried her face in her mother's chest. Samantha's nostrils flared. "If you can't keep her quiet, I'll have to escalate this." Something in Emma's posture shifted. She straightened her back, tilted her chin upward, not aggressively, but with the calm assurance of someone who knew her worth, even if no one else did. "Escalate it," Emma said softly. The sharpness of her tone caught Samantha off guard, but before the flight attendant could retort, another voice broke through. "Is there a problem here?" It was Harrison Lawrence, Falcon Aviation's senior customer relations officer, summoned by the subtle gestures of one of the junior attendants. He had the slick demeanor of someone who spent his career smoothing wealthy egos with expensive wine and free upgrades, but right now he looked genuinely unsettled. Samantha quickly shifted into customer service mode. "This passenger is causing a disturbance." Emma didn't flinch. "By comforting my child?" Harrison hesitated. Something wasn't adding up. He glanced at Emma's travel details on his tablet, eyes darting from line to line, and froze when he reached the special designation code attached to her file. In all his years of navigating social minefields, Harrison had never experienced dread like this. He glanced up, meeting Emma's eyes fully for the first time. She saw the recognition click into place. Emma Clark, the billionaire tech magnate, the woman behind Clark Technologies. The woman who held, through a web of shell companies and holding firms, a controlling interest in Falcon Aviation. And they had just humiliated her on her own airline. Harrison's professional instincts kicked into overdrive. "Miss Clark." But Samantha wasn't done yet. Still lost in her righteous indignation, she reached out and slapped Emma's hand away from the service button she had pressed earlier to summon assistance. The slap wasn't hard, but the sound of skin meeting skin echoed through the quiet cabin like a gunshot. "Guess." Murmurs. Someone's phone discreetly started recording. Harrison's blood turned to ice. Emma looked down at her hand in disbelief, her cheeks flushing, not from embarrassment, but from cold, calculating fury. It wasn't the slap that mattered. It was the disrespect. The audacity. In that moment, a line had been crossed that would ripple through boardrooms, newsrooms, and courtrooms around the world. She shifted Olivia gently to one arm and stood, tall and still, towering above the stunned Samantha. "I want your supervisor," Emma said in a low, lethal voice. "And then I want your CEO." The passengers who moments ago had chuckled now shrank into their seats, sensing the storm brewing. Before Harrison could speak again, Emma was already pulling her phone from her Hermes bag. Her fingers moved swiftly, efficiently, not calling security, not calling Falcon Aviation's customer service hotline. She called her legal team. The events of that flight reverberated through social media before the aircraft even landed. Passenger uploads flooded TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter with clips captioned, "Flight attendant slap single mom?" and "Drama at 30,000 feet. But as the narrative unfolded, new captions replaced them. With, "She owns the plane." The next 48 hours played out like a modern-day epic. Samantha's face, once composed with cruel satisfaction, now circulated globally, a symbol of unchecked arrogance. Emma's team filed civil suits, not out of revenge, but as a statement of intent, that dignity could not be purchased, only earned and demanded. But Emma wasn't finished. She called a press conference on the tarmac of Los Angeles International Airport the next morning, standing before a sea of microphones in a crisp black suit, Olivia by her side. "I've fought too hard for too long to let the old systems continue unchecked," she said. "This isn't about a slap on a plane. This is about the systems that perpetuate disrespect and discrimination, whether you're wearing designer heels or nursing worn sneakers. Whether you fly first class or ride the city bus." The world watched. The world listened. Women everywhere, single mothers especially, flooded comment sections with support. CEOs issued awkward apologies. Falcon Aviation's board, already owned in majority by Emma's private equity firm, formally removed its CEO and replaced him with someone of Emma's choosing. But the true victory came later, not in courtrooms or news cycles, but in a quiet moment at home. Emma tucked Olivia into bed that night, brushing stray curls from her daughter's sleeping face. Outside, Los Angeles glittered in the darkness, a city of ambition, betrayal, and relentless reinvention. Emma had won not just for herself, but for every woman who had been underestimated, dismissed, or told to sit down and shut up. And somewhere deep in her bones, she knew, this was only the beginning.